There's a new police investigation team reviewing the passing of Tupac, and in their investigation, they found some missing pieces of the story. By using newer technology to review old evidence, there has been something missing in the case, and the police have just found it. This all begins with an officer revealing that Tupac was originally an industry plant who had a main job of stopping the beef between the red and blue street teams with rap music.
What did you find most fascinating about the alternative history of Tupac?
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda that he came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Tupac Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
However, with the plan obviously not working, he would then suddenly been taken out of the spotlight and he would sadly pass. Now, when you compare this information to a 2010 interview with a rapper named Tretch, this is where things get weird. This is because in 2010, Tretch was interviewed on the topic of Tupac before a concert. Tretch and Tupac were very close friends way back in the day. They even worked on a few albums together as well, but here's where things get weird. After Tretch's interview, the cameraman forgot to stop recording. He put his camera onto the floor, and in the footage you can hear the interviewer asking Tretch about Tupac, to which Tretch would randomly respond saying, "Last time I saw him, he was in Cuba."
So if you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question. Nobody knows. Y'all good? Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man. We good. Last time I saw him, he was in church.
Then, only 2 weeks later, a video would be released to a news website showing a video of Tupac supposedly chilling in a parking lot inside of Cuba.
That's Pac, man. He was the outlaw. And Reg from Holla Back is trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
It would be that series of events which is what created the most popular theory of Tupac being alive, which is that he lives inside of Cuba and that he is hiding. However, now in 2024, it is not really seeming like a theory anymore, as even Snoop Dogg would end up doing a recent interview reacting to the new police investigation team that is on the Tupac case, when suddenly Snoop Dogg out of nowhere would claim that he was actually supposed to be in the BMW with Tupac and Suge on that night that Tupac sadly passed.
You were with Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac. I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So.
Saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
Now, this would end up getting the attention of the new police force that is investigating Tupac's passing. They are wondering why Snoop Dogg didn't get into the BMW with Tupac and Suge when he was supposed to be there. This is then when it would be reported, and I quote, "Snoop Dogg arrested in connection to the Tupac Shakur incident. Police are questioning a recent interview by the rapper where he claims to be supposed to be in the BMW with Tupac and Suge." Now, the topic of Tupac even in the interview only came up because Snoop Dogg was also asked to react to Suge Knight's recent tweet of, "This little guy is responsible of the passing of Tupac," as even just a few days prior to this tweet, there would be another tweet from an anonymous account that relates to it, which reads, "I've been quiet for too long. First month of 2024, I'll be announcing what's really going on with Tupac," making many believe that Suge Knight is revealing the truth through several Twitter accounts. As Suge Knight agrees that Tupac is alive and well. He has said so in so many interviews over the course of the last 2 decades now, as one particular interview from Suge Knight makes a very convincing case towards him still being here, where he would go on to reveal that Tupac was allegedly doing fine in the hospital right before his passing, where he would say, and I quote, "When I left that hospital, me and Tupac were laughing and joking. I don't see how someone can turn from doing well to doing bad."
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never know.
However, what's weird about this is that according to police records, Tupac was supposedly in a very deep sleep when arriving to the hospital. So how in the world would he and Suge be laughing and joking if Tupac was sleeping? It doesn't really seem to add up. However, when you compare this interview to another interview from 2008, 10 years apart, Suge Knight said the exact same thing, that Tupac was alive and that he was well.
So he was conscious on the way to the hospital?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
They left.
Then only 2 weeks after this 2008 interview, Suge Knight almost lost his life at a nightclub when a man used a firearm in his direction 6 times. However, Suge Knight was hesitant to tell the police anything. He immediately knew that it was likely due to him talking about Tupac in a public interview, which is the exact same mistake that his son would make, Suge Knight Jr. This is because in 2018, Suge Jr. took it to Instagram stating that Tupac was alive and well, while Suge Knight, his father, was in jail. Suge Jr. would go on to reveal that Tupac was alive, living in Malaysia. However, right after Suge Jr. posted this, he would end up posting another photo to Instagram showing a text conversation where someone said, "You have said too much. It's now time for you to go." Suge Jr. would begin panicking immediately. He would start posting several photos of Tupac alongside modern day celebrities like 50 Cent and Beyonce. He made it seem like someone was going after him for leaking all this info because on the photo of Tupac and Beyonce, he captioned it, "He never left us, but they'll be after me soon," making many believe that it could have been a publicity stunt for Suge Jr. to gain social media clout, but others believe that it was all factual, as Jr. would be the one to know more about the case than anyone else in the world, considering his father was right there at the scene of the crime and considering who his father is. Now, when you compare all of that evidence to these new police records that I was able to pull, you tell me if there is something missing, as according to new police records, they just arrested a man named Keefe D in connection to the crime.
For 27 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice. We are here today to announce the arrest of 60-year-old Dwayne Keith Davis, aka Keefe D, of Tupac Shakur. Davis was arrested this morning by my LVMPD criminal apprehension team, and this investigation started on the night of September 7th, 1996. It has taken countless hours, really decades, of work by the men and women of our section to get to where we are today.
As on September 7th, 1996, Tupac was in Las Vegas with the head of his record label named Suge Knight. The two were off to the MGM Grand to watch a Mike Tyson match, as after it was over and they were leaving, they ended up spotting an op in the lobby of the hotel and ended up going right to him.
Suge Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson at the MGM Grand. Keefe D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and 2 of their friends were also there. Keefe D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
Security would end up breaking up the altercation between Tupac, Suge, and the ops. However, Tupac and Suge would end up going back to their hotel to change their clothes before heading off to a club owned by Suge Knight at around 11 p.m. When the two got into the BMW and began driving over, their windows were down and loud music was playing. They ended up getting stopped at a red light when things would go down right in the middle of the street.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keefe D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
With the aftermath of the incident being a mystery for over a decade, everything has now came to the light. This is because the police investigated a concerning interview by a man named Keefe D on DJ Vlad's show. As during an interview, it begins with him detailing the moments of finding Tupac and pulling up on him.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Just
okay. This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light. He was going to go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He was hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
To later, Keefe D's interrogation with the police that has never been before seen ended up getting released only 2 hours after the original DJ Vlad interview. This is because during the Vlad interview, DJ Vlad didn't believe a single thing that Keefe D was saying. He would end up wanting more proof, so Keefe D would end up releasing this police interrogation, proving that he was literally there at the time of the crime.
Lane starts. You say Suge looks over, he sees you.
Yeah.
He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looks at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out of the
back seat or something.
Yeah. What do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando across Dre.
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window.
As with Keefe D releasing this footage for the first time ever, announcing that he was at the crime scene inside of the car and even made eye contact with Suge Knight, what he said next was even more concerning, because he would go on to reveal that the entire incident only happened because Tupac was allegedly reaching for a firearm.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out a...
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually...
No, once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So, someone from your car...
That's what happened.
...started at Tupac and Suge.
As during the police's investigation, they would also end up finding Keefe D's reaction to Tupac's passing, and it ends up showing his true emotions.
Yeah, I hate that happened, dog. I really do, man. Cause it took a lot of people's lives, dude. I hate that happen. Probably to God. I feel that was wrong, man. It was just purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion. It never happened, dude. You know what I'm saying? I lost my Colombian plug. You know what I'm saying? Had been having the feds up for 15 years. Couldn't do nothing. Couldn't catch a break, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I did time behind.
It really makes you wonder why an elderly man in retirement would end up self-snitching on himself to the entire world that he was involved in the passing of Tupac and even showing proof of it just so that he can go to prison during retirement. However, fans believe that it is a cover-up throwing an elderly man inside a jail as the evidence of Tupac being alive is becoming way too real and that Hollywood is trying to cover everything up like they do with everything else.